Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 32nd episode of the SWW Show. It's me, AJ. I got Mike with me. I don't know about you, Mike, but I'm sitting here chilling in my alternate black San Jose Sharks jersey.
I'm not sitting here chilling in my alternate San Jose Sharks black jersey. I apologize. I didn't know we were supposed to match today. I was thinking of getting some whiskey, but that's about all I have for that. Should I get the whiskey to start the show, do we think? Or do we do it with no whiskey tonight?
No whiskey.
No whiskey tonight?
I don't eat, like, even when we record at night, I don't drink when we record normally.
If it's like, I'll have all whiskey. I won't, like, get drunk.
Yeah.
The whiskey I have in the house currently, though, are you familiar with Screwball?
The drink?
The whiskey.
Not the whiskey. I'm familiar with the Screwball drink.
What is a Screwball drink you're familiar with?
It's... I know of it. I can't tell you what's in it. I've had it like twice.
So the Screwball I have is a Screwball whiskey by the Screwball Company. It's a peanut butter whiskey. It tastes like you're drinking peanut butter.
Oh, I have had that. I've had that one. One of my neighbors brought it to a fire. It's disgusting.
You don't like it? Fuck,
No.
I could drink it all day.
Like,
You have to be okay with maple syrupy and peanut butter.
and like I'm fine with those two flavors individually.
But
I'm not a huge fan of the combination of the two of them. And then also the back end kick of relatively high proof alcohol.
yeah, because you're not expecting it at that point too.
Because the thing about, like, the thing about, flavored vodkas and flavored drinks, they're dangerous because you don't taste the liquor.
Right.
Whereas with that Screwball peanut butter stuff, you taste it. Like, so
that's true. I actually don't think it's as obnoxious as other things I've tasted, which is real bad on the back end, but I do agree that it's...
somebody else brought over, like, another peanut butter whiskey or something like that.
Okay.
And it was worse, like, inherently worse than the Screwball one. But I wouldn't drink either.
Why? What is your problem with enjoying life, AJ?
Dude, if I'm enjoying life, I am sitting on a dock, on
By
a
the bay?
lake, no.
No.
On, like, an inland lake, surrounded by trees, maybe a dog or two next to me, and a 30 rack of cheap beer that I am just pounding.
The most Michigan ass shit I've ever heard in my life.
Dude, that's all of the Midwest.
I saw, so it's not in the show notes, but I saw a map the other day, okay? And it was very simple. It was a map, and then every dot on the map, that was one color. There was more grocery stores than liquor stores. Every dot that the other color, there were more liquor stores than grocery stores. The only two fucking states.
Wisconsin
like
was
that,
covered in the liquor store state.
and Illinois. It was Wisconsin and Illinois were the two states.
So here's the crazy thing, right? Wisconsin has the same number of registered bars as California. Think about that. They have, like, maybe a third of the population in the same number of bars.
They have like
Yeah,
a fourth or fifth.
I guess I don't know what the current population of Wisconsin is.
Wisconsin's like, I want to say, I'm going to argue it's 10 million. I think
So that'd
Cali
be a third.
is... No?
Yeah, because the one guy that I talked to from Pogo Champs.
Wisconsin population is... Oh, never mind, buddy. 5.8.
Oh.
California California population is 39 million.
I was going to say, the guy from Pogo Champs, because I kicked that interview off with, I don't know like, should I be telling people I got my first vaccine dose? Like, just putting it out there? And he's like, yeah, I guess. Like, right? It's good to let people know that you've done it or whatever. And he goes, I'm on the list, but when you have a state of 30 some odd million people, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah.
But,
I have percentage, by the way. Wisconsin's population is 15% of that of California.
mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm gonna give you something good in a second.
I think the number of bars is over 50,000.
How many bars are in Wisconsin?
You might get two different numbers because you might get like a. Here's the number of liquor licenses that are issued.
I have 3,000 bars. It looks like is the number I'm currently pulling up. That was 2013. Is the best I got.
Yeah, that was.
And for record, Wisconsin does not have the most bars per capita, which we'll get to in a second. But there is one bar for every 1,800 Wisconsinites.
Yeah. I would say you might be getting like. You're getting what they consider to be a bar, not necessarily like liquor license numbers.
Right.
Which liquor license numbers are going to be everything.
But that's not fair. Every pizzeria has one. Every restaurant, like I wouldn't count that.
I mean, if you can get a beer there, people would not necessarily me, but people would consider that a bar.
But okay, that's bullshit then.
Yeah, I agree with you. That inflated number is terrible because.
So the top 3 states of bar per capita. So it's without the it goes North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin's 3. What do you think number 2 is?
I'm gonna go Montana or Alaska.
I fucking hate you, Montana.
I was gonna say if it's by capita, you always have to go for the low population because they don't need a lot to. Skyrocket up that list.
To perspective, North Dakota has 422 bars, Montana has 600, and Wisconsin has 3,000.
I mean, hey, people got a drink.
Amazing. Only 2. Wow. Okay, I got something better for you. Only 2 states, I think, total have more bars than Wisconsin.
Like total number of establishments?
Yes. It's New York.
Yeah.
And what's the other one?
So my reasoning behind the guess is that it's the exact opposite of the per capita.
Okay.
Just go for big states. So I would say either Texas or California.
Florida is the answer you're looking for.
That would have been like those 3 states, right? Like those are the top 4 states in population. So.
Wisconsin is like the 35th state in population, or 30th.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget what it is. It's pretty well.
But the point is,
but the thing of it is, like Wisconsin, if I remember right, there's a decent gap between Wisconsin and then like the next state.
Oh, you fucking.
Because I think it's one of those where it's like, it's at like the bottom of what you consider like a bracket of the states. And then you go into the low population states.
We are now pulling it up. Okay. So, I just care about the ranking, thank you. Wisconsin, for the record, is at around here. Number 20. My apologies, actually. Everyone.
Well, I was just thinking about it. There, a bunch of the Northeast states.
So, here's how it works. Wisconsin is 20. Minnesota, by the way, is 22.
Doesn't surprise me.
Colorado's the one in between at 21. So what it goes is
that
your
makes
drop-off
sense.
point, by the way. So Minnesota to Wisconsin is about 180,000 people. Then to South Carolina's the drop-off at minus 600,000 people. The first state under 5 million is at 25 at Louisiana.
I was pretty close at like, okay, it was 2 states above the drop-off, but.
It drops off 600,000, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the 25 drop-off is the true drop-off. That's when you get under 5 mil. But
the drop-off between Minnesota and the next state is the population of Wyoming.
No, that is not true. The population of Wyoming is a little less than that.
Oh, because People are leaving?
Yeah, Wyoming's in the 576.
Well, because it used to be like it was like 600. That was always the
Yeah.
that was always the thing.
I think I'm using modern numbers. Yeah, I'm using the census numbers that were just released.
Oh, then yeah, there's people that have been leaving Wyoming. I would imagine what that number in Wyoming is it's not um, like the people that left and the people that are coming in. The people that are coming in aren't coming in as permanent residents.
Right. So you're only counting them in one state.
Yeah, they're being counted in California or.
Can we discuss though how Illinois got kicked into the sixth biggest state and lost the fifth status?
To
Pennsylvania.
Texas. Really?
Pennsylvania's number 5. Texas is number 2, bud.
Well, I knew Texas was up there.
Yeah, Texas is number 2. It goes Cali, Texas, Florida, New York, then Pennsylvania, then Illinois, then Ohio is kind of eking up.
That I guess Pennsylvania makes sense when you think about it, right? Like,
and then Georgia's kind of about to pass Ohio. Yeah. Georgia will pass Ohio, I promise you. Next census.
Like,
Michigan's 10.
The urban population around Philadelphia is massive, and Pittsburgh is growing. So
also, the eastern side of the state is relatively close to New York City.
Yeah, I mean it's super close to New York City. You could train in from Philly easy into New York City.
Side note, before we get into the extra show notes, I found out recently. Did you know that Philadelphia has an income tax?
Yeah, the city income tax.
3.5%. Yeah.
Yep.
At 3.5%.
Grand Rapids does as well.
At 3.5%.
I don't know what the percentage is, but Grand Rapids has its own city income tax.
I did not know that. What the fuck?
Yeah, one year all of a sudden I got a tax bill from the city of Grand Rapids for like $20.
Your resident rate is 1.5 and your non-resident is 0.75.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck is this shit?
Yep. I mean, it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Because if you think about basically what that's doing is that is allowing the city to like it's taking the pressure, the tax pressure off of the small towns in the middle of nowhere. That they're like, oh, well, my money is funding Detroit and Grand Rapids. Not really, because the cities themselves have their own.
But that New York, Michigan, then is sales tax on us.
No, I mean,
tax.
Michigan's sales tax is pretty low for states that have sales tax because it's 6%.
Yeah, so, it's probably low to average.
You know, it would be tougher to implement a city sales tax.
Most cities have a sales tax.
Than it would be to. I'm saying in Michigan. Like just the political landscape of having a city income tax versus or a city sales tax versus a city income tax, where the city income tax you don't see that money anyway, and it's such a small number that people don't care. Whereas if you tacked 1.5% or 2% sales tax on top of the 6%, people would be up in arms about that. Because that you have a choice, right? Like, you have a choice. You don't have to go to the city. Whereas the income tax, like, everybody gets hit by it.
If you work in the city.
Yeah. So, you know, the people that work in the city don't care because everybody's getting hit by it.
Well, they do care because there's a world that now if I just own a business and I move just outside the city bounds, which Grand Rapids is a small enough city where I could do that with relatively easily and not affect commutes a ton.
Yeah, I mean, you could. A lot of the
cities. Not every city is drivable, so it's not like Chicago. It's a harder city to do that in because where like Grand Rapids a little bit easier. Well, like it's like Minneapolis. It's a very drivable city. It's very easy to move your business right outside Minneapolis.
I mean, you can do that, but you also lose a lot. Like, here's the thing, right? In a way, Grand Rapids is kind of like New York City because the money in Grand Rapids runs the city.
Mm-hmm.
right? Much the same way that like the gangs run New York. If you were to establish a business in Grand Rapids, develop it into something pretty decent, and then move out of the city, you would get shredded by the high dollar people. Like, because you have to remember, West Michigan's very cliquey. So it's very much an area of keeping up with the Joneses still really exists.
Mm-hmm.
And so leaving downtown Grand Rapids to move to like Walker, right, which is south of the city, it's down by the airport. You're like, the vast majority of people don't care. Okay, yeah, it's 15 minutes longer to drive there, but whatever. But when it comes to if you ever wanted to run for office, or you ever wanted to start a charity, like, you need the backing of the Sekias, the DeVos, the Van Andels, there's several families that are very powerful that you would not want to have upset.
I keep reading when you say the DeVos, I was like, oh, that's a thing.
Yeah.
It used to be the Romneys, to be fair, in the old days.
No, nowhere close to the DeVos family.
George Romney's
yes,
legal reason you have an income tax. Like, George Romney, like, saved the state in a lot of ways.
George Romney, yes, was elected governor, but the power that the DeVos family has is probably over what the governorship would have.
There's a reason that I just argue. There's a reason that Romney is one of the few governors that people know of in your state.
I mean, yes and no. We're aging out of people knowing Romney.
That's fair, but in general, like, I don't think any other governor in the state has ever been like a national figure.
Rick Snyder, because he made a bunch of dumbass comments right when he got elected.
Okay, great, but I think already people forgetting about him.
Yeah.
Like, in the moment, sure, but like
that's politicians should strive for what Rick Snyder had.
Okay.
Very little noise beforehand because he was at HP or something like that.
Yeah.
Gets elected governor. Is governor for 8 years or whatever it was. And then fell off the face of the planet.
Yeah, legitimately, he's like, okay, I'm done now.
Yeah. Like, he's done. He's not doing,
Like, he's still probably doing well for himself, don't get us
yeah,
wrong.
Well,
like,
yeah,
he's
dude, he was an executive, I think he was a C-level at HP. So.
Yeah. So the point is that it's not like that man's, like, literally gone. But yeah, he's kind of like, he appeared, got to governor 8 years, said, okay, I'm done now.
Yeah. And I mean, he was
the dream, right? For a couple years,
he was the proto-Trump. Like, he was campaigning on, I'm going to run it like a business.
But that's been the Republican campaign forever, I think.
I feel like there's a couple camps in the Republican of
like technically Mitt Romney that was Mitt Romney's argument.
Like true Republicans of little government oversight and let the companies figure it out. Whereas, the Trump and Snyder style of you're going to run it like a business.
So you think you argue they're going to run it like a business, but they'd be more hands-on than like you think of like a small government Republican?
Like small G Republican versus Snyder and Trump are two completely different.
They'd be less delicate people. They'd be more hands-on.
Yeah.
That's an argument. Okay.
Which, I mean, I guess, depending, whatever your political view is, like, Trump at least got people talking about what they believe in. And I genuinely believe, right, that people were just like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, people didn't really care necessarily. They were just like, okay, well, we're going to do a Republican, and then we're going to do a Democrat, and then we're going to do a Republican, and we're going to do a Democrat. With Trump, it was like, okay, let's really think about, on both sides, right? Like, let's really think about what do we want. Because if you keep flip flopping, you're not going to get anything done. True story.
Okay. At the end of the true story notes, let us jump in. Okay, let's see what we got here. AJ,
Yeah.
I see you've been killing people.
Yeah. Oh, I've been killing a lot of stuff.
What are you
I've
doing
been
in the?
I've been
It's been.
killing beers. I've been killing fools. I've been killing.
Please hire AJ people. He needs to get out of the house.
I get out of the house. That's where I drink.
Come on, Hitman.
Yeah. So I ended up buying the Hitman Deluxe whatever edition.
So stop telling you what you're missing, at least.
Yeah. Well, that and um, I was talking to you last night offline, and the problem with Hitman 3 is like I did the levels and I feel like I'm good. Like I don't have that drive that I had in 2 to master every level. And I think that's probably because I've already unlocked everything that I need. So there's little desire for me to want to find the ways to get mastery in these levels. So, as I say, there's really not like without the escalations or I forget what they're calling the season things. Without that, like I fell off after what was the second DLC for 2? That was the island,
Yeah, because the first one was obviously
the
casino,
bank.
which is amazing.
It wasn't a casino; it was a bank.
Bank, yeah.
It was supposed to be Wall Street or Wall Street esque.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I called it the bank from Dark Knight Rises. Or Dark Knight.
Yeah, Dark Knight. Which, by the way, we'll talk about it in stuff we've seen. Just remind me when you get to that about Dark Knight.
Okay.
But I fell off that island hard. Like I did. I ran through that thing maybe 3 times.
Wow.
Which for me is
Yeah,
basically
I know,
barely playing the level. So, I fell off of it hard because I was like, I've got everything. I don't care. Like, I've made these levels so easy for myself because I can go in with a briefcase with a sniper and find a spot and hit the target almost instantly. So
You just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
but
Nice. Alright.
yeah.
I finally beat the Outer World DLC. For the record, Outer Worlds, like Obsidian Outer Worlds, not Outer Wilds. Still one of the worst things in the world.
This is on the level of what were the 2 volcano movies?
Fuck. I was thinking, it's always that happens, right?
Like it's that level of I'm not saying they're the same game.
Because they're not at all, but yeah.
But I'm from like a very far point of view. Like just quickly looking at them, they're both space. They're both kind of narrative driven.
Yeah, that's kind. But I think it very quickly mechanically falls off that comparison.
Oh, absolutely. But you need to play the game in order to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're just seeing something, you're like, oh, that's which one of those was that? It's
Mm-hmm.
it's the problem. You want people talking about your game, but you want them talking about your game,
Mm-hmm.
not another game.
But yeah, I beat it. This is the one where you get brought into speaking of casinos, get brought into a casino as an inspector because a murder happened. I really like it. Uh, it is if you wanted that game to, and mind the crashing what I'm about to say, AJ, be more like Fallout in the pieces that mechanically this game is missing. This DLC does it, and I'm really hoping that Microsoft now will give Obsidian another crack at this type of game, whether it is another adventure in the Outer Worlds world or a different world. I think they've shown on a obviously New Fallout New Vegas, where everyone like relatively everyone liked the team that did originally, and then this game was a tighter budget, and obviously we've talked about I think in the past that constraint showed. But now that team's kind of had a crack, especially being an Unreal, made them obviously able to save money in some way and speed up development time. I'm really hoping that that team who formed this core gets another crack at again either this game if 2K lets them with Microsoft, or if they could find even a different world kind of doing this. I think it's really shown that is one of the best teams out there to do this type of RPG.
Dude, how alpha was that move for ZeniMax to buy out Obsidian? Because they're like, hey, you make the Fallout game that people like. Didn't ZeniMax buy them?
Microsoft.
Or, I guess, yeah, it was Microsoft that.
Microsoft bought them and they bought ZeniMax a year later, so it wasn't the.
I guess, yeah.
The ultimate will be if also like a year from now they walk on E3 and they're like, and also you see like the Obsidian logo and you hear Fallout music, people you understand in an E3 stage will like break down crying. Because like this has for years been the joke saying let them do Fallout Vegas too.
Hey, guess what? There's not going to be an E3 next year.
Okay, but you say like this is a Microsoft event where you see the Obsidian logo and then Fallout, like that will be people's dream. Because Fallout New Vegas for a lot of people is the best Fallout.
Here's the problem I have with that, right? Like, and it's every BGS and BGS affiliated game.
Okay.
So Fallout and Fallout affiliated games.
So Fallout 76 for
whoever
Skyrim.
did that. Yeah, the Skyrim.
They're all Bethesda's games because that one's in quotes, different location.
Yeah.
New Vegas is, I believe, is the only not internal Bethesda of those games.
Yeah, but the Elder Scrolls games, the Fallout games, like the BGS and BGS affiliated games.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they've developed a cult around those games, much in the same way that I feel the Borderlands games did.
I think it's a different cult. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Like, I think the two are two completely different cults, but in much the same way that the Borderlands games did it, the BGS games did it. And the problem with when you develop a cult is you get a lot of people that they're going to be disappointed no matter what, because it's not New Vegas, or it's not Skyrim or Morrowind or Oblivion, right? It's not the first one.
People who were like shocked when BGS was like, and with the next game we will make an Elder Scrolls again, and everyone with half a brain's like, well, obviously, like, of course you will. You've been saying this in your goddamn investor calls for 2 years.
like you get the people that are rational about it, like me, that are like, of course you're going to do that. Like, why wouldn't you? I think they're terrible games, but why wouldn't you?
But a lot of you understand, a lot of people don't, or at least they sell well.
Yeah.
Independent of the quality, they sell well.
Yeah, and exactly, right? Like, the people will lose their shit, and then they will have to caveat, like, oh, you'll love this, you just have to get over 10 hours of grind, or the jank.
I think there's jank there. I think my argument has been, I think they're some of the best world builders. And I think they do it on topics I like a lot, like Fallout. Like, I inherently like American history and like that 50s atmosphere, and I think they build some of the best worlds too. I understand fine. There is
like building the world is fine.
Stuff like combat.
Like building the world's fine, but if I am fighting against the product to get through the world, then I'm just totally off put by it.
I think it also matters how much, as a player, you care about the balance between gameplay or story or what it is, right? So I think some players inherently throw gameplay first, and those are the players that you probably should never recommend these games to.
Yeah. And then you get
Or
people like me that just want to break the game.
right, like I think it very much comes down to what inherently do you like in games, and if at any point you are a person who enjoys world building or at least that topic, I think those games are worth checking out and they might jive with you. If you are like, I like a perfect game that doesn't like if you want like I want to say Nintendo game, but I think Nintendo is a prime example of a gameplay for first game to this
Oh,
day.
yeah.
Um, that's all they are a lot of times is here's the mechanic or mechanics and we're gonna go do.
Yeah.
Those would not be like I would argue unless you like other things, those wouldn't drive with you then.
Yeah. Yeah, the BGS games don't jive with me because I just like I don't mind the world building. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. But if I am actively like struggling my way through because the game just isn't,
I think
I think
you
part
have
of
a
it.
lower tolerance for that, if I'm being honest. I think
Yeah.
you have a certain type of like with you,
Well,
it's a
I have a bullshit tolerance that I just like
yeah.
that is adjustable. Like if it's a series that I like, much
But there has to
like
be some element about it that you like to
yeah,
bypass the complaints, which is my thing about Fallout. I would never say Fallout plays perfect because it doesn't.
no,
But there's things I like in there that lets me look beyond the honest complaints, which would be like the gameplay or the jank or whatever, and be like, well, I think this entire package is still beyond those complaints.
I mean like Yakuza is the perfect example, right? Like the craziness of the Yakuza story is happening all the time.
Right.
So I like it's super easy to get over the jank of Yakuza because it's like, yeah, I just want to hit the next side quest where I have Magic Jackson moonwalking across a bridge and I gotta fight off zombies. You know,
But you
or
get there, you look beyond the other thing, right?
yeah, I look beyond the minor jank of oh well, like he can't get touched basically, and so it's okay figuring out the physics of if I hit a guy, will he hit Magic Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you fail a couple times, and you're like, okay, this is just ridiculous, but you're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's all balancing. I think this is what gets lost in the nuance of most game discussions is a the broad success is right, and no game is perfect, but for a lot of people, it's what do you drive with, and then you can pick apart any game to say there's objective problems with them. It's a matter of what are you looking for, and then does the thing that drive with you is it more than the complaints that could be said about the same product?
yeah,
Video games. It says on the list here.
video
What is
games.
HZD?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, you went back to that? Is it because it was free on
It
the
was free. It's the
store?
first time I played it, so
Okay. How was it?
it's fine. It's a little rough because um, if you're just
You have
walking
a
around the
regular
world,
PS4, right?
what's that?
You have a regular PS4?
Yeah, yeah. I have a
Okay.
launch PS4, like launch day PS4. Um, the game's pretty rough in that it doesn't save unless you go to a campfire and either quick save or manual save. But it does seem to save if you fast travel. So let's see, like 2 or 3 days ago, I lost nearly an hour of progress.
Really?
Yeah. And so, like, the skills that you learned, like, it literally rolls you back to whatever that save was.
Hmm.
It's rough. Like,
I don't remember having those problems. That's what's fascinating to me.
and maybe you were just running by the campfires and quick saving. Like,
That could be.
I wasn't doing that. I was having them pop up on my menu, and then I was on with my way. Like, you know, I was trying to like get myself into a position where the combat was I wasn't getting destroyed. Like, I wanted to get leveled up pretty good
Mhm.
um, before I started doing some of the main stuff. But yeah, so it comes with the Frozen, whatever, Frost Wilds or whatever it's called. The expansion for it. It comes with that.
Mhm.
Um, I'm still a couple levels from like being the recommended level for it, so I'll probably finish the base game and then go and do it.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, I mean it looks amazing. Like
Okay, so it still looks amazing.
there are legitimate times during the cutscenes where I could pause it and it looks like it's shot on a real camera.
That's insane.
Like it's Uncharted
Especially for a game at
levels.
this point that's 2017, I believe.
Yeah. It's Uncharted levels of skin detail and the touches. Like Rockstar kind of gets away with it because they're Rockstar.
Mhm.
And like okay, so Red Dead obviously the technology in Red Dead is just mind blowing for a lot of this stuff. But if you get up close, it's like you can see kind of the where they had to cut some corners.
Mhm.
With this, it's like okay, they legitimately it feels like produced a movie
Really?
for the cutscenes because it looks impressive to the point of having. I don't think I need to get this on PC because I don't know if I would get a quality jump. Like
Hmm.
I obviously would, but I'm not running into frame rate issues unless I'm doing things that basically you know ask for frame rate issues. Like
Hmm.
major fights and things like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's been a blast so far. Um, I guess I don't know how far into the story I am because I haven't played it before, so it's not like, oh, you're
Do
halfway through
you
the story.
know? I'm trying to think how to say it because I'm not
I'm
actually much
heading
more
to
about.
Meridian.
Okay.
Like that's the story quest that I have is to head to Meridian. But I did like every side quest thing in the main area in the first area. So like I'm level 20 something heading
Okay.
into like a level 15 quest or something like that. So at this point, I am a higher level than most of the robots.
There will be more though.
Yeah, I understand that, but the ones that I'm experiencing, I can deal with because either A, I can override them, or B, I'm high enough level that I'm doing meaningful damage.
Mhm.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
And then you it looks like you've also been playing the hockey.
Yeah, because I got, what's it called? EA Access on PlayStation. It is a quarter
Which
of the
is so weird.
price
'Cause, like,
of the PC one.
really?
Well, granted, okay, the PC one is all EA releases day one with the like premium deluxe version,
Mhm.
whereas the one on console is just stuff in the vault.
Right.
So, and there is a tier like that on PC where it's you can play the first 10 hours of every new release and then anything in the vault.
I'm trying to think. EA Access was before stuff like Game Pass, right? EA was the first one.
Uh, kind of. I think
I thought they were.
I think somebody was before them, but
I
then
didn't think any of them.
canceled
Maybe
it.
because maybe okay.
But EA Access has been around the longest
Of the big boys.
I guess, the modern ones.
EA Access came out. Whoa, fuck. Yeah, 2014.
I was gonna say it wasn't long after the launch of the
August 11,
consoles.
2014, it launched on Xbox One. It didn't even launch on PC till 2016.
Yeah,
Wow.
I want to say, was there not somebody that did? I feel like somebody else did that. Maybe it was 2K did it like way
Ubisoft
back.
did it right after.
No, U Plus wasn't until EA Play came out on PC,
Okay.
and even after that. Um, so yeah.
Nice. But anything special about the hockey, or just kind of going through?
I mean, 21 has a new Be a Pro mode, so you actually like. There's kind of a RPG element to it, much in the same way that like the FIFA and Madden stories, excuse me, had like actual stories.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this one's very much like it's super repetitive though. Like it's the exact same animations and it's the exact same like the coach will call you over and be like, "Hey,
Of course.
we need to put the pressure on you, or we need to put the pressure on the other team." And it's like, I'll be a team player or I'll be a star, which means score. And that's the two options that you have every time during a game. It's like, hey, either basically stop them from scoring or score yourself.
Mm.
Which I found the easiest thing to do. Just take the score one, and then whenever you get it done, it's done, and you don't have to worry about, screwing it up sometime later in the game. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I have a feeling 22 will probably be the exact same, and then 23 would be
the upgrade, kind of.
If there's going to be any major changes, it would be 23. I have a feeling that the sports games are, if they split, I wouldn't be surprised. And like the Xbox One and PS4 would be the Ultimate Team only,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the PS5 and Series version would be it's got all these different modes. I wouldn't be surprised if you see that happen.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, like the people that are buying those games to play every mode, they have a Series or a PS5, or they're going to be getting one, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're dedicated enough that if you told them that was the only place that they could play those modes, they would get a console for that. Whereas the people that are playing Hut and Foot and Mutt and the Ultimate Team stuff for the EA games, they don't care what it's on. It could be on their phone. All they care about is the cards and building their team. They don't care about Be a Pro mode or the training modes or anything like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
even if they split in a way that it's like, oh, there's free to play NHL and it's Ultimate Team and World of Chell, like the monetized stuff. If that became like free to play and then everything else was locked behind buying the game, I think people would be fine with that.
Fair enough. Okay. Last game on the list. I played the new Oddworld Soulstorm for a bit. Have you played any of the Oddworld games, AJ?
The most recent one.
So not Soulstorm, New and Tasty?
Yeah, new and tasty.
Hmm.
I played it like when it came out on
Good
PlayStation
shit.
Plus, and that was years ago.
Hmm.
So I have no opinions of the Oddworld franchise.
It is a. I enjoy them. They are weird as fuck. Obviously. Also, I don't know if you ever know. Do you know Lauren Landing's like the lead? I think design director of the studio. Crazy might be the craziest person in the industry. Like, and not
Hmm,
even like not a bad way crazy. Not a bad way crazy.
I can think of some eccentric studio heads or developers. I'm thinking David Cage. I'm thinking Kojima. I'm thinking
Lauren Landing's up there though. He's just one we don't talk about.
who's the guy that uh, what was his game gonna be? Like he's famous for like promising a game and never delivering it.
You sure? Oh fuck! I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about. The guy who
he's
did
French or something like that, I believe.
Blow, Jonathan Blow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
No, I think there's
No,
somebody else.
Molyneux.
Yeah, Peter
Molyneux.
Molyneux. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I'm saying his
I
his
like
name
that.
was his name was non-English. Like his last name was non-English. I remember that.
I like you start listing people and it's like keep promising to make games. I'm just like boop 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 War Inspector.
Well,
Whoever makes Star Citizen.
Star Citizen is just a money laundering scheme at this point. Um,
Yeah. No, and Asher's War Inspector actually is probably one of my favorite games on this world, but that's always the joke in my because he's like working on Systems Shock and stuff, so like stuff that's just not coming out. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Which
Oddworld,
some of that stuff, those people are working on things that are never going to come out because the license holders just won't let it happen,
or the issue is they're working on something so they don't lose licenses, but it's not ready. Like,
yeah.
and so like that's the System Shock thing. It's the whole like there is, but funding keeps getting pulled out from under them. Like there's a lot of
because let's be real, System Shock in the 20s, like 2020, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So here's my thing though: if the new Bioshock's bad, System Shock could come in to save the day because Bioshock is System Shock.
Yeah,
Like that. Like if we're being objective here, Bioshock
but
is literally System Shock.
System Shock would have to be good.
I think they were. I think Bioshock just did it better.
Well, but if the Bioshock game disappoints, the System Shock game has to be damn near perfect.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So,
Yeah, but yeah, I really enjoy Oddworld so far. It is very fun. So it's like they call it a 2.9D, which it plays like a 2.5D game, but it's how the camera angles are makes it more 3D. So I think it's very cool how they're doing that. They're super early, like 20 minutes of the game, aren't great, and it's gonna feel super jarring and super hard for no reason. But it gets better very quickly.
well, it was funny when I was hearing the discussion about this game, kind of around the internet. People were talking about the 2.9D stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's just Little Big Planet.
it's a little different, but I think that's a fair comparison. I think Little Big Planet's the closest thing that I could think of.
Well, everybody was talking about it like it was some revolutionary thing. I'm like,
I think it's a little
it
different
sounds
than Little Big
like
Planet.
I was like, it sounds like Little Big Planet. Where like,
I think the way this is gonna sound very technical, the way the camera gets pulled and then it does certain. I believe Little Big Planet was made now. It would be Little Big Planet. I think we removed some limitations we had at the launch of the PS3.
okay,
I think that's kind of what the difference is. So it's kind of like the thing of like now when like a modern sitcom tries to use use modern camera techniques to make it look like an old TV show. It's kind of like one of those moments. So it's like no, someone has kind of done this, but you're adding a modern touch to kind of change that up.
when you use modern cameras to make an old show. In other words, make it look like dog shit.
But you know what I'm saying though? It's kind of like that. It's kind of what it's doing. I think that separates them.
Yeah.
But I agree with
I
you.
get what you
It's more
mean.
marketing. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but it's just that nobody should be trying to make stuff like it was in the 90s. Because, like, to be brutally honest, like, the technology in the 90s was in this weird middle ground.
Yeah.
Where, like,
It's fair.
early 90s was okay because they were still using film for a lot of stuff. But then everything started to switch to, like, Betamax and VHS. And everything was just shot in 4:3. So it looks horrible. Whereas, obviously, anything shot on film can easily be cut to 16:9.
Over time. Right.
Whereas if it's shot on 4:3 and saved on VHS, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do anything with it. So, it's... The 90s should stay the 90s. Especially when it comes to stuff on displays.
Yeah.
90s music? There were a solid 6 years where I wouldn't mind seeing it come back. The, 92 to 98, the grunge scene.
Mm-hmm.
Burned bright as hell. And then burned out. But...
Speaking of 90s, it's now time
Hey,
to jump.
that was a good transition.
Thank you. Into what we've seen. And AJ, we need to start out. We both watched a movie that really was born in the 90s.
We watched a movie that is, I think, going to be the perfect popcorn movie for the next, 10 years. Like, in much the same way that, the Fast and Furious movies kind of were that. They were just, dumb action movies. Mortal Kombat is the dumb action movie for the 20s. It just is. It's dumb action.
But you definitely enjoyed it, I'd say.
Oh, dude, enjoying it is taking it lightly. I will gladly watch this movie anytime. Much the same way that I will gladly watch the first Fast and Furious anytime.
So, yeah, we watched Mortal Kombat. If you want to do our full thoughts and stuff, we watched it for the podcast for last month's movie club. So go check that one out.
Yep.
Next thing on the list, I think I kind of talked about last time. I've watched now all of Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I'm sorry, I have notes from last time we talked about this, AJ. You said, and I quote, "Who cares?" Something about snooze.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot.
My thought still stands.
If you enjoyed the more Captain America-y stories of the MCU, I think it's for you. If you care about the big action blockbuster stuff, like you care about the big explosion or the Avengers moments ones, I think it's not for you. So yeah, just with that asterisk in mind. You said to remind you about The Dark Knight.
Yes. So I watched Batwoman, or at least I've started to watch Batwoman.
So season 1 and season 2, because season 2 I thought switched the Batwoman.
Yeah, so this is season 1. I don't know if season 2 is out on HBO yet. And they literally shot this in Chicago.
I did know that one.
This is... It's weird because you're like, oh, you're trying to harken back to Dark Knight, and and get that feel. And then they show Wayne Enterprises, and it's some just like Gothic architecture building, and you're like, okay, you could have at least used the right one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a. So this is my foray into the CW superhero bullshit.
So you've never watched even like Arrow or anything?
Nope.
Wow, that's surprising to me.
I just didn't care. Like, this has been on my watch list for a while because I put it on there when I heard about the Ruby Rose leaving
Right.
after season 1. I was like, okay, I'll check it out because like she seems to be good, right? Like
Mhm.
her role in John Wick was pretty good, and she's a believable action star. I guess when it comes to women, like the problem with the Batman character is like you want somebody that's a believable action star, but not an action star.
Right.
Like,
so you don't want to be distracted by look who this is. Yeah. You want them to still feel like, oh, this makes sense.
You don't want Dave Bautista or even any of those like muscular action stars. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't work, right? Like,
right.
It just doesn't fit the role. And so I was like, okay, like Gina Carano wouldn't work. Ronda Rousey wouldn't work.
Will work.
Like, you want somebody that's a believable action star, but not an action star.
Mm-hmm.
And when I just added it to my list, I was like, okay, whatever. And I started watching, I'm like, oh yeah, it's got Ruby Rose in it, and like she's a believable action star without being an action star. Like that, I understand that's a very convoluted thought.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, it's something that needs explanation. It's not a thought that is like, oh yeah, I get what you mean. It's like, having to explain, the whole idea of that is not inherently intuitive, but and it seems to be okay so far. I've watched the first episode. They're 45-minute episodes. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was an hour. I guess that makes sense because all the CW shows I thought were 4-hour shows.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Again, this is my introduction into the CW stuff, so I didn't know what to expect. Right, like, are these going to be 45-minute shows? Are they going to be 20-minute shows? Are they going to be 15-minute shows? Because some of those networks now are doing like 20-minute airtime stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which cuts down to like
does not work
15
for
minutes.
Like drama. Yeah.
So.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
Again, it seemed to be fine. Like, it seems to be good by the first episode. Like they lean a little too hard into the whole. I guess they had to set it up. What's her name? What the main character's, whatever her name is, like she's gay in the first.
Right, that's kind of the thing. I remember
the first thing is she has to save like her former lover or whatever, and so they have to have these flashbacks of they're in military camp and.
Of course.
It's illegal to be gay and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, I don't care.
Like, next, please.
Like, I'm sure there's an audience that can somehow feel attached to that. Like,
but you just like, okay.
Yeah. Like, I understand why it has to be there. I just don't like it. It's the necessary evil for the show.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Nice. Okay. Jumping down the list, I have now seen all, by the time this goes up, but one episode of Invincible, which I think we talked about last time. So it's the Robert Kirkman comic they've turned into a TV show on Amazon Prime.
We didn't talk about this on the
about,
show. I think you and I talked about it either on the stream or offline.
It's about superhero. And it's about like him and his dad's superhero alien. So it's kind of like Superman story. The thing with Invincible though is, so I've read the comics before this, so I knew kind of this. It throws a lot of what you expect some superhero stuff like on its head very quickly, and I think it's really worth checking out. The way I would recommend it is, I think people need to sit through the first, I think, 2 episodes is kind of like that tipping point of the series. And if you, I think if you at that end of that don't like the series, you won't. But I think the first episode is very purposely deceiving, and I just got actually an order today for season 2 and 3, so obviously didn't deter enough people. But that's the general concern I had about this.
Yeah, I will say the one thing I know about this show is they are so desperately trying to get the whole viral marketing on Twitter.
Yeah, no, I agree that's a problem.
And it just comes off as so just like, you guys are just like, stop trying. Like, the wonderful thing about the internet is, in a weird way, it rewards you not trying.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you try to get something going, a lot of times it backfires.
Mm.
I just feel like it's just so... It feels so forced. And then I see the people interacting with them on Twitter, and I'm like...
Oh, I've just learned not to read comics for the...
Well, okay.
Some of that stuff is just painful.
So, you would know him because you've been around long enough. Andrew Goldfarb.
Yeah.
He used to be at IGN, now he's at Sony.
Soccer Punch, I believe he's there.
Yeah, sure.
I want to say head of PR. I know there's a better term, but he is there. I call him the PR guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's something at
communications manager, I think.
Yeah. He is very much one of these that is interacting with them on Twitter, and I'm like, yep, totally could see it. Like, you seem like the weeb douchebag that would be interacting with this. It's just very
cringy.
Not saying that he is that person.
But it's very much, it's just, I agree with you. I think there is a problem with the social media cringy. And actually, he's not the problem. I've learned just not to open those up and just read the normal people comics. I find those concerning.
Yeah, I mean, reading any sort of, like, diving into replies of
anything,
somebody's tweet is just a disaster zone. But seeing the ones of people that I follow replying to tweets is like, maybe I'll still follow you or whatever, but maybe I just mute your profile.
Yeah. Alright. And then last show or movie I'm going to talk about is, I watched the documentary The Last Blockbuster. Are you familiar with this, though?
I remember hearing about its production.
So it is, who don't know, there is one Blockbuster left over in Bend, Oregon. So this documentary is kind of like a twofold of talking about the history and cultural history of Blockbuster, and like half of it, and the other half is talking about this one single location and the family that still runs the single final Blockbuster. I think it's, as you could expect, a little bit cheaper documentary, has some cuts corners. I think it's a really cool cultural piece that I think touches on something that I think me and you still have memories of, but like people who are younger than us don't understand when they're talking about like Blockbuster and why it mattered and that whole like family traditions and stuff. And I think it was really cool to watch.
Yeah. I hate these, like, I don't even know the right word, like, I guess hipster is the right word, like, these hipster documentaries of, like, oh, it's the last Blockbuster, it's the last...
I think...
whatever.
I think
it's like...
down to what it is. I think Blockbuster or something, because I think it's one of those things I don't know if I quite realized how big it was.
Oh yeah, Blockbuster was massive.
Like it truly was for a decade or two, like a cultural touchstone in America when it came to like as we look at the stores.
I think at one point it was a Fortune 100 company.
Which is fucking wild. I also didn't realize stuff like they were owned by Universal and stuff. Like I did not realize that.
That I think was later.
It was like early 2000s they bought them.
Yeah, that was.
It was kind of like when they could have bought Netflix. It was kind of like during that moment.
Yeah, it was end of life. It was
not quite end of
life. Well, no, it was.
That was
end of life.
It went over. So what was interesting was they kind of went over it. They were like, Blockbuster was profitable. What happened though was Universal was hemorrhaging money. So they were in the books on the back end. They were taking Blockbuster's profits to throw into Universal to save it, and that's what killed Blockbuster.
Yeah, I mean,
which is interesting. And it was at Blockbuster because everyone talks about like Blockbuster was charging money. They're like, no. To be everyone's very clear when they talk to the financial side. They're like, no. Blockbuster as a unit could have independently succeeded. The issue was Universal was taking its profits to survive.
I don't know how long Blockbuster could have lasted though.
That's fair, but the point was more like when it died. It could have died 5 years later instead. That means instead of when it did.
I think if it died 5 years later, it would have been a much more painful death.
Oh, 100%.
Because as it was, it's just like, okay, these 1,000 stores are gone. Whereas if it lasted 5 years, it would be a rolling, just like, you know, it'd be like the GameStop list, right? That you see every year of like, well, these 500 GameStops closed, and you're like, shit, they still had 500 stores?
It's like now when we walk, dude, when you walk into GameStop now, though, you're like, I understand you say game on the outside of the store. Inside, you got like 2.
Well, it's kind of tough when nobody can carry stock of anything, like in terms of the consoles or even computer stuff. Like
half of GameStop at this point is like collectibles and stuff too. Like it's very
Well, yeah, when they went out of their way to purchase like ThinkGeek, and they purchased somebody else, like I was like, okay, I understand what you guys are trying to do. Like, you're trying to become.
My issue is is GameStop is throwing a spot. So GameStop was trying to, I think, in a lot of ways become the next hobby stores. The issue is, hobby stores are inherently a niche group, right? Because there's only so many, you have some clientele. The thing though is specialized in niche businesses, though, if you could get into that niche, is you're sustainable because you have a few customers that are high spending customers. So I have that niche. I know my size. I'm going to control my scale. I'm not a public company. Like there's like this line, right? When you're at GameStop, which is a public traded company, you need to now grow that niche into scale.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it makes sense what they were trying to do, right? They were trying to take, because it's very clear that Best Buy wants to get out of that market.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if the two companies were smart, Best Buy would have bought GameStop. And
like
then,
GameStop run the game, yeah.
And then...
So it's like how Best Buy has, what's its premium brand? I forget. Magnolia?
Yeah. Not like that, because that's sold in their stores.
Right.
So my idea is you take all of your gaming, like all your gaming stuff, your PlayStations, your Xboxes, your computer parts, like the gaming parts and stuff like that, like put all of that into GameStop and have that as a location that's either next to or near your store.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, at least for me, like, where I'm at, the local Best Buy and the GameStop are, like, two sides of the street.
No, 100%. I've seen that a lot of times.
They're like two different strip malls, effectively, with the street running in between them. So, if you could do that, like, because Best Buy clearly just wants to get into the whole, like, the service market, right? They want to get your flat screen TV or your appliance with your Geek Squad, warranty program or whatever. And, if they can sell a couple smartwatches, they're golden.
Mm-hmm.
If they could scale back their stores, I bet they would. Like 100%. They would try to clear as much space as they could. So, if they were smart, as I say, Best Buy would have bought GameStop, but now, with GameStop being a meme stock,
you physically can't afford them.
Like, the problem becomes, right, like, it was, I forget who I was telling, like, the first earnings report that comes out from GameStop is going to be a rude awakening for all of these
I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. I thought
stimulus investors. It would be soon. Because this has all happened in Q4 of 20.
Mm-hmm. No, we can look up. I thought it did, but I could be crazy. Or I knew the date.
I think one came out and then this started happening.
GameStop's earnings. Yeah, they reported earnings on March 23rd.
Oh, so yeah.
They had profits per share. They had $1.34 per share of earnings.
No shit. When your stock goes,
but that's not earnings.
1,000%. No, but you can use it as earnings.
No.
That's literally. You could easily, depending on, there are some shady ways to tie your stock price into earnings.
For you to do that a while ago, though, it can't be like a now you're doing it.
Yeah, it could have been something like
accounting methods. You have to report it to the FEC and stuff.
Yeah, which they could have been doing that the entire time. Like,
if they did the entire time, sure. I just didn't think they were.
Yeah, I mean that's like, how else would they be running a profit? Like,
that included the holiday stuff, included the new some console stuff. Like there was ways to do it. But yeah. Okay, jumping to some random news. I'm gonna kind of hand into all these as we go. By the way, Jason, don't be surprised. First one. So I saw this news story, and we need to talk about everyone's favorite Russian actor. So Steven Seagal, right?
He's not Russian.
I'm gonna pretend he is. Is selling.
You mean I think what you're wrong here with is everyone's favorite guest sheriff.
Wasn't there something about him being tied to Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, he went over to Korea. Much like Dennis Rodman did.
Who's son? Yeah, I'm looking at this right now.
Now buy a home that's bulletproof.
That's what I'm getting to. So his house, he's selling for $3.4 million in Scottsdale, Arizona. The one, so it's just great for you, AJ. I'm looking at a picture of it right now, right?
No, that's a dog shit view.
It's also fucking bulletproof. Why the fuck does Steven Seagal have a bulletproof house?
Because he can.
It's 5 beds, 5 baths, 9,000 square feet. And it's his #1 selling point.
It's, honestly though, it's a dog shit view. It's not even a good desert view.
I appreciate, though, I'm not looking at the picture. This is a picture of the bedroom, right? Look at the TV in the bedroom.
Yeah.
It's just somebody who's at him. So I like the house a lot.
Yeah, the architecture of the actual house is interesting, is what it looks like.
I also appreciate knowing that if I'm ever invaded, I'm pretty safe. What grade bulletproofing do we think this house has?
It appears to be pretty high, just based on the tint in the windows.
Do you think, like, if I shoot it with like a 50 cal, it'll chip it? Like, what's the level we think?
Well, I'm trying to find like a good. There's no real good like, oh, here's a side shot of a door. I mean,
Right.
this slider looks to be, probably inch thick. Which, if that's inch thick polycarb, you're stopping like a 45 and a 223 potentially. But I mean, any sort of high-powered rifle just going straight through that.
So yeah, I just thought it was funny as fuck when I heard that today. I thought I'd bring it up. Next news story.
I mean, also, like, the thing that people forget about with bulletproofing is the bigger the pane, really the less bulletproof it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even, like, if you have a sheet that's grade 5, which is pretty good, a 10 by 10 square of that is going to be much more effective compared to a 5 foot by 5 foot square. Because the 10 by 10 only has that area that it can flex in, whereas that 5 by 5 it reverbs a lot more. So it can do a lot more secondary damage, depending on how big it is. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
I personally would not buy it because not only does it look weird as hell, it looks like it's in bumfuck Scottsdale. Like,
Scottsdale, it's all bumfuck Scottsdale.
I mean, there's some nice areas of Scottsdale.
Sure.
Like, this is literally like, if this is in Scottsdale City, I'd be surprised.
Okay. But yeah, next news story, and this was a while ago. I know me and you talked about it. So Netflix has bought out the Knives Out sequels, 2 of them, for $450 million.
So, let me get this straight. Netflix apparently doesn't know how money works.
Go on, explain why.
They run at a loss every year, and then they can just drop $500 million like it's nothing.
Oh, it's for 2 films.
Yeah, but are people going to subscribe to Netflix to watch Knives Out 2 and 3? No.
No, but the Netflix theory is you want to stop people from unsubscribing. I thought it was more than new acquisitions at this point. You still want new acquisitions, but realistically...
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you want it to be something that people just forget about paying for. But when it's, $13 a month, it's...
Well, they have the cheap plans, but yeah, if you want an actual, like,
I think
4K
even the cheap plan is 9 or 10.
It's 8 or 9, yeah.
Well, no, it got bumped up, so it's not 8 or 9, it's 9 or 10.
So it's 9 or 10 then. Yeah. Which, again, I really enjoyed the and I thought you were decently good on it. But I just found this an insane number, considering, like...
Well, let's put it into perspective, right? Like, they're getting 2 films for this price. No Time to Die wanted 200+ million more for 1 film.
Oh, but No Time to Die. If I said Netflix has exclusive rights to James Bond, I would subscribe to Netflix to watch that. And I wouldn't care what Netflix costs.
Netflix would have to go bankrupt to get the exclusive rights to that movie.
But you know what I'm saying, though? Like, if you said Netflix for 1 year has exclusive rights to No Time to Die, they'd probably get new subscribers out of that number.
Yeah, I don't even know if they'd let them do it for a year. Like, they so desperately want that movie to sell DVDs.
Right.
But
you know what I'm saying, though? Like, if you give them a window, they would gain subscribers during that window. That would be a movie that would do something.
Yeah. But
this Knives Out, I agree with you, is not a movie that will move the needle in the same way. I don't think anyone pretends to think it is.
No Time to Die would move the needle, but Netflix would be... They would basically need to get every person on the planet to subscribe in order to cover the
And
cost.
all Netflix needs is, I don't know the numbers. There is some magical percentage out there. There's some rolling formula that you could kind of assume. Be like, if I have 100 subscribers, I can assume 50 of them will remember to cancel, 25 remember to cancel in 6 months, and 25 won't. There's some magic formula like that.
But what I'm saying is they need so many people to subscribe
To make it worth it.
to
because
afford No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
They would almost need to do public funding rounds just to make it happen.
Which, like, if you're a VC and Netflix comes to you for money, stay away.
No, if you're a VC that you put into it back when it IPO'd, you're happy. Now, stay the fuck away.
Well, Netflix isn't... If they're already public, then they're already public. But if they're private, they're not going to go public.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they're public.
Who, Netflix? Yeah, I have Netflix stock.
That
so
seems like a used stock. Like,
I bought it when it was 40% what the cost is now.
well, not even, like, I don't care about the price. Like, that is a used stock. Like, Mike's like, I'm gonna get all of the tech stocks.
I tend to try to get stocks, at least some of them, that I roughly understand the business. So if it's stocks, I'll watch kind of things.
Just invest like me. Put it in defense and healthcare.
Oh, I do that. Don't worry. Actually, I can't put it in defense. I have it in healthcare.
I put it... Well, no, you can put it into, like, Boeing.
I have limitations. I can't put it in. Boeing might be one.
Yeah, I guess if they have a government contract, yeah.
No, so, especially with it's my direct job. I have certain stock restrictions I have to run it against a system that lets me see if I can buy it or not.
I'd be curious if Boeing's part of that.
I don't know.
Because they're diverse enough that, like, if that's the case, then you would be limiting so many people.
Do we have contact with them too? There are certain things. That's why I have a system I can run it against.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is,
tell me why I can't too.
Yeah, like if Boeing in general was locked off from investment from government employees, like, you realize how many different arms that company has and how many people, like, just couldn't invest in them. Like, they could probably get it down to they could find a reason why the postal workers couldn't invest in Boeing. Because they make, like, washers that go into the van.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I Honeywell, Lockheed Martin, Boeing. Anybody that makes anything that goes boom. Or anything that so my healthcare stocks are actually, like, a lot of biotech stuff.
That makes sense. Biotech, my thing is kind of always, you find biotech on the cusp is where I joke. So I'll get be like, oh, I have $200 or whatever, right? Put in a couple funds, and if one of them goes, I do great. Because the other ones I assume will lose out.
Yeah. Because I really feel like, well, you know, the company made the Deus Ex arm?
Mm-hmm.
I ended up investing in them. Because I see that tech as being, like, prosthetics need a kick in the pants. And I feel like companies like that are going to be leading the way. So
makes sense.
I got in with them, and I was like, hey, whatever happens, happens. Like, I don't really look at my portfolio at all. Like, I get my quarterly stuff, but
otherwise you let it be.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm not going to touch it. Like, you know, that's kind of my, not necessarily retirement, but that's my, need to buy a bunch of land. Okay, well, stocks are going to help pay for that.
That's fair. Nice. Next news story we have here. We finally have a thing for Black Widow. July 9th, and Disney is officially doing that whole hybrid thing of it being both theaters and Disney Plus $30 window.
Another one of the who cares?
Yeah. Okay. So we have 4 trailers here that we could pull from. Have you watched any of these?
I watched the Space Jam one.
Okay.
Excuse me. And the Suicide Squad one, depending on which Suicide Squad one it is.
It's the new Suicide Squad.
Then I think I've seen that one.
It stars like 1,000 different actors.
Yeah.
It's the James Gunn Suicide Squad.
Yeah. No, I meant, like, I think this is, like, the second one.
Yeah, I think so. The first one's like a very early.
They had they had a teaser and then they had a trailer, so.
So let's start with Suicide Squad and we'll jump to Space Jam in a second. So Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Concerned because it is still Suicide Squad, but it's James Gunn.
It's completely different. Like, it's Suicide Squad, but
it's so weird because it's literally a lot of the same actors in the same.
No, it isn't. Well, it's the soldier guy, but then really Margot Robbie's the only other recurring role, isn't it?
Was the Amanda Walker not the same person?
Was it Viola Davis?
Yeah. Am I crazy?
Let me see. Let me quickly mute, or I guess it's Twit.
James Gunn. I don't.
I'll just scroll through the.
Let me see if I can put up.
Yeah, I mean the military dude's the same.
Maybe yeah, Viola Davis. It's saying Viola Davis on my cast list.
Twitter's not letting me load the video.
Yeah. I find it interesting though because that's a goddamn. How do they get this cast though for this film?
Probably a hell of a lot cheaper than the original one.
You think so?
Oh, no. You cut. What's his face?
Will Smith.
Will Smith and Jared Leto.
Okay. Right, but you added Pete Davidson, Margot Robbie was there, John Cena, Idris Elba.
I mean, like Idris Elba is not like. I understand people like him, but he is not at the level of even Jared Leto. Like, and
Viola Davis, I think, is expensive.
Yeah, but she was already in it, so it's not like you're.
Stallone is somewhat expensive.
If it's just the voice, though, right?
Maybe.
I believe it's just the voice.
VO too.
Yeah, so just the voice. That's what I mean.
It's
not
like
him.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think he was doing like
mocap.
Oh no, he is the animated guy, isn't he?
Yeah, isn't he the shark dude?
You're right.
Yeah, so it's just voice work, so that's cheap.
King Shark.
John Cena is nowhere near even Idris Elba when it comes to Hollywood.
So it's Margot Robbie. Idris Elba is Bloodsport. John Cena is Peacemaker. I'm trying to think of the big ones.
Pete Davidson, they probably just pay with like cartons of menthol cigarettes.
Peter Cabaldi, I think, not super expensive, but not the cheapest person. Yeah. I think it's one of those things that I'm hesitant, but I think there's a chance this is decent.
I mean, it'll be better than the.
Yeah, no, we don't agree. We don't disagree.
So.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other trailer, Space Jam. What do you think of Don Cheadle being the AI that apparently abducts kids?
I mean, whatever. Like, I have bigger issues with what they did to this movie than Don Cheadle abducting kids.
Okay, what's your issue then?
Well, the whole every movie now needs to be an ensemble movie, and
yeah, no, I thought I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
the crowd needs to be all of our No, who cares? Like, you're
All of
using
our
the
cameos.
Looney Tunes. Like, just do that again.
Yeah, because Lily would just remake the old film
Yeah,
with LeBron James.
yeah,
That's all we want. We don't even want that, but we'd live with that.
yeah. Like, all this movie needed to do, LeBron James instead of Michael Jordan, and change up the uniforms to make them more modern. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. Then basically rinse and repeat and just print cash.
Yeah, like that. You could do the same plot.
Oh, absolutely. I have a feeling it will be the same plot.
Uh,
Because I think they said Nate Robinson's in this as a bad guy. If I remember
so
right.
that Lily.
Alright. Ah, that's loud. Okay, there we go. Trailers that start with the like that just annoy me. Like, first comment in the YouTube comments. Is it just me, or does the new Space Jam feel like a basketball-themed Ready Player One movie? Yeah, and then like, they cut Pepe Le Pew because of the history behind him or whatever.
Which is fucking wild.
Meanwhile, in your peanut gallery, you have Pennywise, who literally eats kids. You have the Clockwork Orange people. Like, there's so many people that, you know, they reference that Pepe Le Pew is better than.
Also, it's still the complaints there are wild.
Like, okay, yeah, like Iron Giant, all that fun stuff. Let's see. I see the agents from Men in Black, Pennywise. Like, there are some serious, like, Pepe Le Pew would be seen as like mild compared to what some of these others are known for. Like, it's just, yeah, let's see. Ryan Coogler from Black Panther is a producer. LeBron James. Yeah, it's gonna be dog shit.
Yeah. Okay. So AJ, it is time. I just have it in a note there, and I didn't tell you about this topic because we're gonna jump to it. We're jumping to video games. Um, we're calling this subtopic. I'm gonna apparently start putting in a monthly goddamn show because the games media can't control itself. It's called Games Media Time.
No, it's one site. Let's be real.
No, I have it. I didn't. I just sent you one article. I have a second one I didn't tell you about. It's not the site
Is
you're
this a
talking.
is this a Kotaku / Polygon? Like,
No, it's not. It's not. It's neither of them. I have branched out, young one. So yeah,
young one? You're
first,
saying young one to the guy that's older than you.
so first off, as me and AJ have discussed, and we broadly agree, the old time and games media, just like newspapers, are fucking slowly dying a slow, painful death,
Yeah,
and all sensible people have already left them. So you're down with the crazy fuckers who run these places, right? So we have two articles we need to talk about. I'm excited about it. First one I sent to you because we just added a second article right before the show started from Kotaku.com by the author named Ash Paris. Have no fucking clue who this person is. Never heard of them. I mean, you
she's
both pay attention to games media stuff,
she's apparently a black female writer.
which makes sense when the topic of this commentary on Kotaku is sorry, your cis white woman protagonist isn't progressive.
Let me
Did someone
copy link there.
pay her beneath the living wage to write this?
I mean, it's just rinse and repeat, right? Like it's literally what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paragraphs of literally the exact same thing.
So yeah, I'm just gonna start screenshotting this so we can stop giving clicks to Kotaku because I'm scared that there's just a few of us just keeping them open just to make fun of their articles. I'm trying to think the best thing of. Let me look. Right, if there's a great quote in here, I had to pull from.
Like Ash knows, like, literally the final line of this. Progress is often a game of inches, but it doesn't have to be. Like, the first half of that sentence, like, progress is a game of inches. Like, we're just now reaching a point where it's cool to have a female lead in video games.
And like, sure, but I feel like this article to me though is just here to complain, and even if they get further, it would just be here to complain.
Like, this is the perfect example of giving somebody an inch and them trying to take a mile.
Right. Like if you want to say, hey, there's still, if you want to even phrase this in the context of there is always progress to be made, and here's what I want to see next for whatever reason. But I feel like reading this article, and I'm not going to recommend people go read this article, by the way, because you don't want to give it clicks, is just bashing on shit, and there is no enjoyment in there.
Like it says, game makers should push beyond the safety of white men and women to create protagonists of all races, shapes, orientations, and abilities. Here's the problem, right? Like, if a straight white guy tries to write a, trans, I don't, I guess
Character?
like a trans, African character or something, like somebody that they're clearly not. Like when you see that, like you instantly know, oh, this was written by a white guy, and then it gets torn to shreds.
Right.
So what, like?
So if you want stuff, even if you want stuff to shift, and you want to use some this that, like it takes more than years. Like part of it is, yeah. I found the paragraph, by the way. Though these games star woman, monstrous woman, badass woman, or furry woman, already have problems with it one. All the women are white or voiced by white actresses, so I can't quite feel the same sea change as others when they look at these games. Okay. We're just gonna close this tab, AJ, and I'm excited for one I didn't tell you about this one, okay?
Here's her byline, right? Like, Kotaku staff writer and Hornt, Hornt correspondent, I don't know what that is. Fanfiction novelist. Unapologetically black. Diversity gelatinous cute.
What?
Like, and like this, the person.
I have a question. So I've been watching these things in general. Do these people have lives besides memes?
Mm-mm. No.
No?
So this comments are actually put it pretty well. Do you think companies need to force diversity if they're European?
Right. So this reminds me of like the whole, was it Kingdom of Owners Reckoning, which takes place in medieval Europe in a very white country, and Kotaku wrote an article complaining how there weren't black people in
it. Like, let me read this and then we can talk about it. This guy's comment. He goes on to say, if an African games company made 10 AAA games about various African warriors, heroes, and then suddenly made a game with a white protagonist to sell copies / pander, I don't know. They go on to say, I just want to know where the line is, I guess. I think forcing diversity doesn't solve the real problem. Maybe more diverse crowds of people need to be encouraged and enabled to make games.
Yeah, that's if you want to argue to me, if you want to argue saying to me, I think the most honest discussions and when people point to actual problems with actual solutions, because people never give solutions to these problems, is it's a twofold problem. It's you have a pipeline issue of how people get into making games, right? And then the other pipeline issue is the funding for people making the games.
Yeah. Well, no, you have a barrier and a pipeline problem. You don't have two pipeline problems. You have a barrier.
Okay, but the point being, though, do you know what the difference is, though, AJ? I just named a thing in which you could solve and get a solution. Did this feel like she had a solution anyway in this article?
Oh no.
Like, this is what I don't understand. Like, if you want to point to a problem, at least in theory, get us a tangible solution. So a tangible solution is, can we fix the pipeline to get more diverse people into the games industry? Or, if we have people with the skills to make games, is there some funding mechanism we could try to form?
And I just want to say, this isn't just a Kotaku problem. This isn't just a liberal-leaning sites problem. Like, there are conservative sites that, well, it's not necessarily video game related. Like, they throw out the same thing where it's problem, no solution.
No, and I agree with you. I just think we're focusing on games for obvious reasons. Yeah. And I think the games media is really fun to make fun of because
it is. But more of, I wanted to make that point because, like, if somebody wants to comment of like, oh well, it's just the liberal media. Like, no, it isn't, dude. Like,
no, there's more to it. I think part of it is, I think the honest answer is a lot of these sites are dying, and they're trying to find ways to survive. And is part one. I think part two is, I think we've talked about this. It's you had. The games media is a very relatively tight circle, especially traditional games media.
Oh yeah, like this, like, and it is very difficult to break into that circle.
And the thing though is because they're so tight a circle, to break into it, you have to have a personality that's similar to people who already exist in the circle.
Yeah.
So they keep hiring their own and don't see how they're doing that, or they don't care.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the sad thing of it is, like, a lot of these companies are owned by old white dudes.
You're just the greatest fucking shit of all time.
So, like, if suddenly, like, let's take IGN for example, because they're owned. I think they're still owned by Ziff Davis.
Or someone. Closer.
Somebody of that ilk, like,
yeah,
an old white run company. If suddenly, like, all of their on-air talent was, this Ash, unapologetically black personality, like, that's gonna raise eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
And, so they're gonna be like, hey, let's tone it down, right? Like, so it's not necessarily the site's issue.
And then
they're, like, they have people that they have to answer to. And if it's a job or you're kicked to the curb and you're in San Francisco, and if you get kicked to the curb, you can't afford rent now because you can barely afford it anyway.
Yeah.
They will keep their job. So, yeah, I mean, part of this problem too is there is kind of this idea of it's always weird, right? Like the idea of progress in games in terms of diversity. Like,
which, sure, the issue we have, as I go back to, is the people, which in theory, the press and quote should be the people having the discussion, feel like are the ones who are the least somehow equipped to have this discussion.
Well, yeah, because you're a press member. You don't know what it takes to make a game. You don't know what it takes to write a script for a movie. Like,
they're just like, go fix. And it's like, no,
yeah.
you can't just be like, it's the age-old problem. How do you get more, infamously, how more females in STEM? It's a lot more complicated than just saying, go give them a STEM job.
Yeah.
There's actual, like, there are things you have to do. Okay, so Article 2. This is brought to you by the people at Paste Magazine, AJ. I am
Okay.
not going to tell you the topic of the article. I am going to read you a paragraph minus I'm going to kind of cut out one part that will tell you the topic's about. I want you to guess what this is. Okay? Are
Okay.
you
If
ready?
it's paste, they like to be kind of. They try to be edgy, but their interviews never are.
Okay. Okay. Blank is really hyped to keep talking about how alien everything is. The Xeno prefix abounds, and it's a little uncomfortable in a world where even the Democratic Party has shown us they're just as xenophobic as the Republicans they promised us they were better than.
Is this Cyberpunk?
No!
Is it games related?
Yes! It's a video game review.
Of a modern, like, or not, sorry, not modern, like recent.
Yeah, like a
Recent
very
release.
recent review.
Oddworld?
No?
I guess I don't really know what came out.
Returnal. This is the video game review for Returnal. And for the
Oh
record, I
god,
want to point out,
that did come out. I forgot about that.
it came out today. I want to point out for the record, there is nothing else in this review that transitions to or from.
Okay.
Which I wanted to go read the person's tweets because it was actually Con Moretti who tweeted this part out. But I went to go find the person. I realized that they blocked me, so I can't go read their tweets about this review.
Well, let me see if they blocked me.
I'm gonna give you. They have their. Are you ready? Ready for the name?
Yeah.
DIALACINA.
Dia Lucina.
Hmm.
She's protected.
Oh, sorry, I'm blocked. You're not in the blocked category.
No, these tweets are protected. Trans, she, her, queer, indigenous game critic who LPs and takes photos. Is LP supposed to be Let's Play? Bylines, Pace Magazine, Waypoint, and elsewhere. She also has a Patreon. Let's check out her Patreon. Like my work and want to see more of it? This tier will keep me going and making more. It's $1 a month. As a bonus for being a Patreon subscriber, you'll receive access to one-shots, an exclusive monthly LP where we zoom in on one game for just one video and see what's going on there. The $5, which is the highest tier. You'll get access to one-shots, and as an added bonus, you'll get access to What Shall We Play Next. Here, you'll get to vote on which games we cover in the weekly adventure game LP slot and help guide
this
our
makes
journey
sense.
in the future.
She worked for Vice. She has a lot of Vice articles. This makes sense.
Yeah. I said Waypoint.
You did.
I suppose. Hi, my name is Dio Lucina. I'm a queer indigenous game critic. In my professional games criticism career in 2017 with sites like Waypoint and Paste, doing feature essays on topics
For the record,
like game photography,
I found
and genre.
so Conrady also tweeted what might be my favorite other thing, which I forgot this thing. So she went back and did old game reviews, like a lot of people do, kind of at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the game Mega Man 4?
No, of it.
Oh, you know of the
played
game
it.
Mega. Yeah. Here's an actual quote from her review, and then we'll leave this topic behind and we'll come back to it next month to see if Games Media's done other crazy shit. When I beat Pharaoh Man, which is one of the bosses in Mega Man, I was thrilled to receive his weapon, but I couldn't help but think about the great Egyptian kingdoms of yore from which he was inspired, and the colonial travesty of the British Empire's takeover of the Suez region in 1882.
This is somebody that literally read a Wikipedia page for Egypt like an hour beforehand and wanted to include that.
God help us all.
She's literally a fight the patriarchy person. Meanwhile, she probably has a sugar daddy.
Because she can afford to live in New York or San Fran or wherever she lives.
Yeah.
God. Okay. That was Games Media time.
Yep.
Jumping to some news stories here. We're gonna skip the Sony one. We're gonna jump into the Xbox one that actually dropped this morning.
I'm glad
This
we're
is a
skipping
thing.
I'm glad we're skipping that Bloomberg article because it is the stupidest article. Like I
Yeah,
get
but we
I
don't
get
want to
the
remake it a
idea,
lot.
right? Like, is this a Schreier follow up or is this his?
No, that's the original. It
Oh,
should be the original. I
yeah.
meant to pull the original if I didn't.
No, it's the updated of the original.
But yeah.
But it's like this is again, this is my gripe with Schreier is he thinks he's this big J journalist. Meanwhile, he's just writing he's effectively writing that Kotaku story, just a business side of it.
That's Bloom. I think there's a little more to it, and I think kind of not talking about it. Stuff like the last was remade. I think there were tidbits in there, but I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Xbox story. I think a lot of this is, if you want to go check it out, it is released on news.xbox.com today on the 29th when we're recording this. It's continuing our PC gaming journey in 2021 and beyond. There's a lot of technical stuff here if people want to go check it out. I think the most important thing that stood out to me.
I just want to cover before we get into this article. It's by the head of Xbox Game Studios, which, if his middle name started with M, if he did a Twitter handle of first initial, middle initial, last name, it would be Booty.
Matt Booty it's at Matt Booty on Twitter. I'm sorry.
That is a major disappointment. He could have easily done. I get he wants to be professional, but if you had a Twitter handle that was Booty.
If you just Google Matt Booty, I'm apparently a second connection with him on LinkedIn.
That's not surprising.
I also am friends with people who work at Microsoft. Is where the connection is.
Yeah,
that's where that's yeah.
I think
yeah,
I'm like third connection with Richard Branson or something like that.
Yeah. Once you know people in enough big companies, you tend to get those connections relatively quickly.
Yeah. So to me, like seeing that on LinkedIn, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I could probably be a first connection if I knew, if I could trace back who.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I can just call this person, get the person that I'm connected with there, and just be like, hey, can you get me Richard Branson? And then boom, we're first connection.
So, the things about this one that I think is important on this Xbox article is, so there's some cloud stuff, blah, blah, blah. I think the thing that stood out to me, and I think what I was doing this morning is, so as we know, Steam does the 70-30 split for games, unless you're a AAA, and there's the whole formula. Epic does the 88-12. Apple lowered to a 25%. I think Google did. Officially now, as of August 1st, all Xbox, all Microsoft games, products, storefronts are doing an 88-12 split with developers, which is the same as the current Epic split. I think this matters, A, because Microsoft was backing Epic in that lawsuit against Apple, so it's probably levered, trying to whatever. And then the other thing is, at this point, Sony's the other 88-12 storefront. It really now comes down to Steam is the only holdout not switching to this 88-12, and I'm curious now if there'll be enough pressure in the industry for Steam to actually do something more about the distribution.
No, there won't be.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Why?
So if this is being run through, the Microsoft Store...
It's Microsoft Store and any Xbox stuff.
The Microsoft Store is dog shit.
Yeah, but there's also been rumblings of Microsoft's going to actually start investing in it again.
There's been those rumblings forever.
I think we're actually starting to see it a bit more, but I agree with you. As of now,
the store barely works. Same with the Epic Store. The Epic Store has issues. Steam is still the only store that is basically plug and play. And it works. For whatever, Steam works every time you start it. you will get where you need to go. You will start a download. It will finish downloading, barring like your internet cutting out or whatever. Like it is the only storefront that works.
Mm-hmm.
Just like not like they all work, but like Steam is the only storefront that is just like I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to make sure it's open and running. Like, I don't have to like babysit it to make sure a download finishes. Like Steam, you're guaranteed it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think really like that 18% could be like the shit just works. Like there's gonna be a higher cost on their end to make sure that it works.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, people could try to pressure them. I don't think they're gonna until the retail split goes up, goes more towards the these 88-12 splits. If the retail split goes up, then you'll see Steam go up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think from a Steam point of view, they are retail. Like, because there's nobody sells physical PC games. Or if they do, it's a Steam code, right? So that actually might be part of it. Right? Like Steam has physical codes out in the wild for games.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so they can't just like.
And if you're a developer,
they would have
you
to
can
write.
kind of make Steam codes appear, right? As of right now.
You would have to write two different contracts to be like, oh, well, are you selling digital or physical? And then probably a third that would be like, oh, well, we want a physical box in a store that's a Steam code. So as soon as that stuff starts dying, I could see Steam bumping their cut up.
Well, Steam's already done it. There is so the current formula I'll put up is there is Steam Store payouts. There is a sliding scale. There we go. Yeah, Steam's revenue agreement. So how the Steam numbers currently work, as I'm riffing and trying to find it.
Well, also think about this, right? Like, what does the Steam store have that none of the other stores have? Every game gets a forum, gets like a community page.
So for can you a second? I have the numbers. So Steam is 30%. Once you hit $10 million, it hits 25%. Once you hit $50 million, it comes 20%. So this was the complaint generally from developers being like, yeah, it helps AAA, it helps no one else, because the numbers, when we're talking about the 50 million number, like, that is a AAA successful game. That's not 99.9999% of games in your storefront.
But you know what those 99.9% of games in the AAA games have in common? What? Steam just gives every game everything, right? There's a forum, there's a wiki that people can build out, there's, the community stuff. They have back-end, server stuff that they do.
I think, generally speaking, as more storefronts shift, it becomes harder and harder to justify that cost.
Well, but if they're not going to have that, like, fine, like, offload your stuff to GameFAQs or whatever,
That's the thing. I'd be curious how much. So there's certain things I think matter than other things, right? Like wish lists is what I'm doing in Epic Store. I'd be curious now how much the forums matter. How much, like, I think there are things that matter less than they used to, also, and they're still using those things just by this price.
I mean, I use the forums a lot if I'm stuck in a game. Like,
so true, but what percentage of players do, and what percentage of sales does that produce? And these are the questions that matter.
I mean, it's not a sales thing. That's like,
well, it is a sales thing.
Oh, it's on Steam, so it's going to have this. Like,
no,
it doesn't.
But the question was, if I move to that feature, does it affect sales? And what number does it affect? That is what matters.
It will affect sales because there are enough people that are their heels are dug in the Steam
So
versus
great.
Epic fight.
But if I lowered the store takeaway at 5% and it cut 1% of my sales, it's worth it.
Well, it depends on what the game price is, and
Okay, but there is a magic number though. The point being there is a magic number that makes it worth it. That makes these trade-offs worth it.
I think you and I are seeing this from two different sides. Because you're obviously seeing this from, like, somebody that would have to deal with Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing it as somebody that's had to deal with movie distribution. And being like, well, fuck it, like, I guess, right? Like, you know, same with record deals. Like, I guess, right? Like, this is what we're going to have to do. So... That's how I'm seeing it, is you're just like, you gotta take, like, you can be an independent artist or have an independent release, but it's gonna ruin your life.
It's the whole thing of itch exists out there, but how much money does itch actually make for developers? Which again, from a developer point of view, I think we've talked about in the past, itch is the best storefront from a developer point of view. From a revenue share, from what they give you for that cheaper revenue share, it's a give trade-off, right? But what you're trading off also is the audience reach.
Yeah.
Which is the age-old problem there, and which is why I think from a developer point of view, I think there are certain things that Epic does really well that gives you a better reach, a bit of a trade-off from itch, and I understand it's not Steam. And it's just this thing of, I think Steam is still there because they're the king of the castle. And I think partially what I'm hoping is happening, and whether numbers back that or not, will become a story, is with Epic pumping a bunch of money in the system, Microsoft pumping a bunch of money in the system, and trying to take things away from Steam, that at least will level that playing field out a bit.
But here's the thing, right? Like, the Epic Store operated at a $500 million loss in the past 2 years.
Which, great, but, like, I find, literally, yes, but when people talk about that's business. Like,
that's,
you
that's,
were right.
That's not what I'm getting at. I'm not getting at that they're operating at a loss. Has that $500 million done anything?
My understanding is yes. My understanding that's a couple points.
It's not $500 million worth, though.
No, it's not. But the part of the argument for this stuff is, if Epic's here doing a fight, right, and then you have Microsoft, in theory, and I don't know this, is I've heard rumblings there are some contracts going on with, like, PC Game Pass where people aren't putting things on Steam, at least temporarily, on that contract. So Microsoft probably needs to play that game a bit more for that to matter also.
Well, so let's look at this from a macro point of view, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Epic and Microsoft have killed Steam.
I don't want it to kill it. I want it to kind of more Steam not to be 99% of the market.
Well, even if it's not that, you've effectively killed it if you take it down to 70%.
Have you, though? What do you mean you killed it?
You've absolutely killed it. Like, it will, as soon as there is, especially when you have a company like Epic involved in this, as soon as that company sees, like, oh, well, we're making progress against taking this down, because a company like Epic and the Mustard Brothers see this as a war against Steam.
Where Microsoft knows better than to see as a war against Steam, because the government would not come knocking on the door.
Yeah, Microsoft sees this as a business interaction, right? Like,
and Microsoft's already dealt with the Justice Department, so they don't want to deal with them again.
Yeah.
So Microsoft has a line.
Yeah. So
whether you agree with the line is a different story, but they do have a line.
So, you look at this is a little bit of a history lesson, but if you look at the movie industry in the 70s, the movie industry in the 70s was about to fail because of stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
because of smaller studios seeing them take, 5% of the box office from a Universal. And so they were like, oh, well, we can keep doing it, and so once somebody takes 5%, suddenly there's the scumbag that has, a bunch of drug money. So he starts a movie studio and he takes 5%. And then all of a sudden there's nothing left, right? Like everybody's stuck with 5% and the movie industry fails. And it's only saved by oil companies buying studios.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to run into a situation like that with this. That's where this is headed. Because you have Epic. Like, Microsoft won't let it get to that point because they legally cannot let it get to that point.
Or if they do, they're concerned what would happen.
Yeah. And, as soon as Steam started to reach that dot on their map of like, we can't let them get below this, Microsoft is going to start pulling out.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, you went from having Microsoft as your base to now there is no base. And Gravity, guess what? You can't beat Gravity. Gravity's taking that whole sucker and just slamming it to the ground. So, I understand where, people want to come from, but there's a reason things are the way they are in terms of these contracts. Like,
but I think partially the Steam contract at this point is because Steam is the king.
Yeah.
It's not even like a Wizards Council where at least there's like a fight on the console space between the three of them, it's a capacity. Steam is just king on PC.
Yeah, that's the way it is in the record industry. Like, dealing with Spotify or dealing with iTunes, they're the exact same way. Like, they're king.
There are king makers, and Steam just is that on PC.
Yeah.
And I think having at least some level of big players trying to dethrone them, whether it be successful, at least in the short to midterms, helps developers because from the point of view of even Microsoft or Epic pumping money in the system to pay for some of that stuff, gets a lot of games, especially Microsoft, less Epic currently, right? Microsoft is at the point where when they're buying stuff for Game Pass, they're basically writing checks for like indie developers, basically being like, we're going to take this on Game Pass, here's the development cost of your game. Which 99% of indie games don't recoup development costs, so at least sustaining that market temporarily, helping that.
Yeah.
Like there were good things happening because of that secondary fact.
I mean, this is title paying for studio time for artists. Like that's what that is, right? Like, and then your album becomes a title exclusive. Mm-hmm. Like that's how the record industry works. That's how, that's how all of these industries work. So it's not weird to see games get into it. It's weird. Going back to the Kotaku article, it's weird to see the people like, oh, well, we have this problem, and their solution is like, they have a problem. They have a quote unquote problem that is a ton of bricks. Their solution is like 5 toothpicks
mm-hmm.
to hold it up. Meanwhile, you look at the film or the music industry and you go, well, guess what? We're going to have to just take it because, these companies have the ins. They have the... Think about it this way, right? Like, an indie developer gets into a lawsuit somehow, right? Like, somebody steals something or whatever. There's a lawsuit. They're responsible for legal costs for them.
Mm-hmm.
If a music artist gets involved in a lawsuit that is related to their music, the studio has its lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the best in the world. And so it's their cost. Like, it's the studio's
mm-hmm.
cost. It's just like a sunk cost, and
it's built in.
It's built into the record deals, so it's just like whatever. So, it's a sunk cost, but they're likely to win that case. That indie developer is not likely to win that case,
Correct.
unfortunately. So, I think the situation is just like there's already a very good framework. There's two very good frameworks.
I think that framework looks better on the outside than it does feel for developers on the inside.
Well, guess what? Artists hate signing record deals, but you know what? Makes them a shit ton of money. Like that's just how it works. Because you know what? The record label now will have you get a single out or a couple singles out, and those sell, those get on the radio, those get airtime. People want to hear that, so they go to Spotify, they buy your album on iTunes, like, and then you start making money, right? Like, that's the thing, right? Like, record labels and movie production studios and storefronts like Steam, a lot of their cost is in PR and getting eyeballs on their product. Right? Like, what do you think the cost would be for an indie dev to get onto the store, like the front store page of Steam, for example, right? Like,
are you saying what's it worth then? What are you asking?
Like, what do you think their cost would be? Because it's way more than 30% of a sale.
So
to sign it, it's weird, right? Because Steam is like the
Steam doesn't actually pay for that. It's based on algorithm stuff.
It's like two parts. Steam is like two parts of the puzzle, whereas like in the movie example, there's thirds.
Yeah.
So it's kind of different, but
Steam, it's very much there is an algorithm behind it to get on the front page. The number I have heard is independent of the game you are. If you can be on the Steam front page for 24 hours, you will walk away with about $1 million. And like that number go higher, but that's kind of the baseline number I've heard. That if you're an indie game and you get on that front page, you are set.
Yeah.
Just for a day. That's all you need is a day. Because it's going to start rolling off, because part of it's people who never heard of your game, and it's the whole snowball effect. But that's kind of the number I've heard is like, and for record, people don't know this. When you talk about indie game sales, people tend to project them in a year, just because of how snowball effects work and wish listing and all that fun Steam stuff. So it's $1 million in a year. But if you're an indie team of 5 people or 10 people, that could bankroll you for your next game.
Yeah, in theory.
For most indie game, that bankrolls you for it. I have indie studios that people have heard of that are mildly successful. Their annual budgets are well under $1 million.
Yeah. But if it's multiple years, if you all of a sudden think, oh, well, I made $1 million and I can quit my day job, and
if it's just you can.
Yeah. But if it's...
you have to watch cash flow.
If it's a group of, 5 of you...
5 of you, I think you could probably do that.
Well, so that's $200,000, right?
So you have that next year, your revenue's not going to be zero. That's what you have to start dealing with now.
Yeah.
If I made $1 million this year, my revenue next year will probably be in the range of like $400,000 to $500,000.
You hope.
You start having this roll.
You hope it's between $400,000 and $500,000.
Yeah, but that's how if you're being how you look at this stuff, you project it in that kind of way. And there are people who are way smarter than me that you can actually look up these numbers, and a lot of developers have kind of giving us what is people use kind of as the equations to kind of look at this, and it's pretty decently accurate. Obviously, video games, nothing's accurate, yay. But if I'm projecting a studio budget, I could kind of use these to somewhat project me revenue flows, or a bank can give me a small business loan using these as collateral, and they would.
Yeah, but I mean, like, again, this is we're going down the path of every media industry is going to run into this problem.
Mm-hmm. It's not unique to games, but games is the one dealing with it right now.
It just happens to be that games started a lot later than the record industry and the movie industry, so we were just dealing with it now.
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's never been easier to get into an industry.
Yeah, that's probably a fair way of doing it.
So everybody is
You
bitching
can't
and
pay
moaning.
$200 and put your movie on Netflix. You can pay $200 for your game on Steam.
Yeah. Like if legitimately, if I wanted to put a project on Netflix,
Or even
be,
Amazon Prime's probably a better comparison, or the
well,
Amazon Shop, or iTunes.
yeah, like Amazon's a little easier.
But it still isn't as easy as Steam.
No, it's not $200. I can tell you that.
Right, that's the point, though.
Uh,
Steam is literally $200 like of a game out.
Tack on a couple zeros to that 200, and you're getting to where roughly some of these storefronts
I can
are.
make, independent of quality and whatever, I can make a video game for literally $200 because I can use all the tools being free and go make it.
Yeah.
And then distribute it on the biggest video game platform in the world for $200.
Yep.
And that is where so it's a very different in that way.
So
the cheapest film to get onto Amazon, you're still probably talking a couple grand by the time you go through everything.
It depends. I've heard, if you just want to be on the store, on the store end of it, I've heard anywhere from like 4 to 6 to get on the store. I've heard 20 if you want to
be a product,
be promoted, like because Amazon can just put your shit on there, regardless of the algorithm. And also, like, part of that 20 gets you into the Prime rotation. And then Amazon will start to write a contract with you depending on numbers for Prime. So Netflix is more of...
Netflix, I thought, just pays a number.
Yeah, Netflix just buys it from you, basically.
Yeah, that they buy complete. They might buy temporary rights, or whatever. They buy, like, we have streaming rights for whatever contract states.
Yeah.
Usually...
Amazon, you have to pay for it, but you recoup your costs pretty quickly. And I mean, really, it's like, if we're being honest, a documentary will probably cost you, if you use guerrilla tactics, you're probably looking at no less than 10 grand. For a 60-minute documentary. And you can probably, like, if you wanted to go to 90, you're probably tacking on 6 to 7 to go to 90. And then, you're probably looking at 30 for a 2-hour documentary. So suddenly you're in it for 30 grand for a 2-hour project. Meanwhile, you could have a 2-hour project on Steam for $200. So, this is the people that are raising a fuss are the people that are trying to do it as cheaply as possible and want to get as big a cut as possible. Well, guess what? It doesn't work that way. Like, you can't just make something for free using the Unreal Engine.
You can. It's just a very
my point wasn't finished, but you can't just make it for free, put it on Steam for $200, and be like, I want my money that I'm getting from sales. That's not how it works. Like,
fair enough.
Part of the cut from the 30% is so you can put it on there for $200. So.
But yeah. Last thing, I was gonna skip through it. Battlefield. We knew a new one's coming out officially this year, and there's gonna be a mobile game.
I have a feeling we're going to see the news this month because Battlefield 5 is a PS Plus game.
This game, I was wondering that too. It seemed like a good time.
So I have a feeling May or June there will be a Battlefield event.
Might be tied to EA's doing something with the digital E3 around the time. I bet you'd start that. Or we might get like a thing a week or two before, but it's going to be really during that. Games
Current,
to watch out for.
current rumor for the new Battlefield game is that it's going back to modern times.
Okay.
And it sounds like it's going to be insane. I'll just word on the street. You can find some of it on Twitter, but some of it I've had messages from guys that I know that are. One of them is a fairly reliable source when it comes to leaking that.
Side note,
Battlefield
I
stuff.
could have worked on Battlefield Mobile, and I didn't realize that. One of my good friends works at Industrial Tours, or I think at this time now he works at EA. And I totally could have gotten a job there if I wanted. But it's funny, which I would have worked on Battlefield if that was true.
Yeah. Well, you would have worked on Battlefield Mobile.
Yeah, that's fair. But it's just funny that like I very much
Yeah.
had a path to work on Battlefield without realizing it.
But yeah, one of the guys that I follow, and I don't know him very well, but I follow him. He is very, very good about Battlefield related leaks. I actually heard about him around when Hardline was coming out, and he leaked who the main character was, like the guy that was playing it. Because I had some tie to the actor through projects that are linked to my IMDb. I was like, we were connecting the dots, and the dude's like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Huh, that is interesting."
Okay. Yeah, we are running a little later than I thought we would, so I'm just gonna kind of speed us through. Games. RE8 comes out when this comes out on May 7th. Mass Effect the week after on May 14th. We're finally back into the Milky Way. And then the new Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart comes out on June 11th. To finish this up, AJ, do we have any movies we're going to watch together as a class this month?
I don't even know what's coming out. I'll have to look and see. I am currently looking at the NFL draft, though, because we're recording this while that's going on.
May movie.
Hey, guess what? Trevor Lawrence went first overall. Surprise, surprise.
I'm gonna do a quick search. If there's anything of importance. There might not be. Army of the Dead's the only thing I can think of.
Let me quick. Where's Max? This. The only thing I can think of is just added popular. Let's Shaq choose your next play in the NBA legend. Huh. Trending comedy. Oh, I wish they made this easier to find shit that's coming out. There it is. What's new? I don't want to watch the thing. Tenet is premiering May 1st on HBO.
Of course, you're like we could just watch Tenet.
It looks like Those Who Wish Me Dead is this month, which is
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. May 14th. Yeah, May 14th. Those Who Wish Me Dead. Which that could be interesting. And then
I think that's it.
Yeah. Unless we get some, sudden drop on something else that comes out, but I'm not seeing anything. Nothing at all.
Yep. I almost vote we skip the month, personally.
I would not necessarily be opposed to that.
Okay. So nothing new coming out this month. Stuff is slowly opening though, so hopefully we will be back in June. But that will do it for us here at the SWW Show. Remember, you can follow me at Mikey_Moni. Follow AJ at AJ_Lowski. Follow the show at the SWW Show. Coming up next week, we'll be back with more, I believe, F1 or the week after. Remember, we do streams most likely Wednesdays on YouTube for the SWW Show or on AJ's Twitch channel. I don't know what we're doing now. Shaming, we're figuring that out. But I believe that is everything.
Yeah.
AJ, say goodbye to the people. And remember, if you live in Wisconsin, please open a bar. They need more.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
This episode is partially brought to you by the Humble Choice program. Did you know Humble Bundle has a great monthly subscription service that lets you get a ton of video games every single month? That's right, from plans range from $5 to $20 a month, you get a hold of a bunch of free games they have available to you. And you could use our code down in the description below to go and sign up. It would help our podcast and help you see what great games are available for you this month.
This podcast was a production of the SWW Show. To learn more, go to theswwshow.com. Remember, you can follow the show on Twitter at the SWW Show. You can follow me at Mikey_Moni. You can follow AJ at LowSeatBoy. Remember, new episodes premiere on Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time on anchor.fm/SWW and podcast services around the globe.